Yeah, Amphi, that's me. I'm Amphi. You're watching me at home, or maybe not at home. I mean, I'm at my home, but maybe not your. I'm not really good at this whole streaming thing, but hey, okay, hear me out. Um, Actually, I think the channel's doing particularly well. I mean, it took me forever to get I this is not my first time making YouTube content. Okay? I have another channel. I have made content for that other channel before. And it took me a long time to get to 139 views in 48 hours on that other channel. So actually I'm relatively happy with how long or like the progress on this channel so far. It's just I do have kind of maybe one issue. And that's that if I go over to my community tab over here and I look at the comments that I have so far on my channel, I have pretty much 2 comments, and then this one, which I don't understand. But the first one just says gay, right? Gay. Okay. And the second one says not gay. Now, I don't mind being gay. That's fine. But I can't be in this like weird superposition between gay and not gay. I need to know. Am I gay? Am I not gay? I have no way of knowing at this point in time. And I need some closure on this, hopefully soon. Because otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, a lot of work to be done there. Maybe you're bi. Wow. Mind blown. That's it. Again, I don't have a problem with gay people. I'm fine. If I'm gay. I just want to know. But bi is fine. Maybe I'm a little gay. That's okay. I don't mind being a little gay. There's also maybe one more thing I kind of want to talk about, and that's that I, again, totally understand that we're like in the middle of we're in the middle of what is definitely going to be considered the cringe phase for like Amphimancer and the type of content that I make here. Just because whenever you start making content for the first time, it's pretty much always garbage, and that's okay. It's okay to be garbage at the start. Eventually, it kind of irons itself out and things tend to work out better. But right now, we are definitely in the like early, things are kind of a little bit wishy-washy. I don't know what I'm doing phase. And that's okay. It's totally okay to be in that mode. Yeah, what is CGG? CGG is apparently shorthand for the DNA sequence cytosine guanine. I kind of knew that from biology, but how does it relate to my first comment, and how does it relate to me being gay or not gay? That I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's like some... I did look it up before stream. That was actually kind of the reason I was late. I said that I would start streaming at 10, but I didn't start streaming until 11. Part of that was me working on the voice, and I like to do that a little bit off stream before starting stream every day. My hope is that I can start to stream at 10 on most days, but I don't know if that's going to come soon or not. It kind of depends. I'm really trying to like figure out what the character of Amphimancer is and what she's supposed to sound like in the future and all this kind of stuff. So it just takes time. Computer game geek. I mean, that could be it. Maybe they're just calling me a nerd. That's fine. I don't mind being a nerd. I like nerds. Nerds are great. They're my favorite candy. Are they gluten-free? Are nerds gluten-free? I guess so. It doesn't matter. I just have celiac, so like I have to make sure. Yeah, I recently found out I have celiac disease, and now like all the foods I used to eat, I don't eat any of them now. Like I actually don't usually eat food during the day until dinner, which I know is not great. I know I should be eating food, but like I don't know. I have trouble eating nowadays. Okay, let's keep going. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about before starting stream today, right? Again, I 100% recognize that today's stream is going to be super duper uber cringe. I get it. I'm cringy. You're cringy. We're cringe people. We're cringe buddies. Cringe fest. See, that's what I mean. That what I said right there was definitely cringe. Working on it. So a couple things I wanted to point out before moving with the stream today is that one, I'm actually not going to have background music. So no background music. There's a couple reasons for this. One, I'm actually listening to my voice while I'm speaking, and I'm like trying to kind of hit a particular tone and pitch, and it's just easier if there's no background music. But the other thing is when I'm editing, I find it a lot easier to edit the content if there isn't background music already there, because otherwise, like the edited video kind of comes off a bit weird. And I don't, I just gotta, I think more people will find me by like the 5-minute final edited video than by like the live stream. I might put music on when we're doing like the actual writing phase, because I think that's fine. I'm not going to be editing that part of the video. But yeah, so no background music for stream. And two, I actually wanted to spend just a second talking about what the name Amphimancer means. So, yeah, so Amphimancer is like, clearly you guys all know Mancer. It's like necromancer, pyromancer, hydromancer. It's like someone who has control over things, like whether that's water or fire or dead things. Amphi is the like Greek prefix for like of both sides, or like togetherness or something like this. And so the idea, like, amphibian or amphitheater, so the idea was that if you put these together, then you have a character who has like control over, my idea was like the synergistic connections between things, like how the two things play together. But I don't really know what that means like in practice. And so I just kind of picked like an Ice Queen avatar, because I thought, I don't know, water kind of is this middle ground between I don't know, like it can have different phases and stuff like that. I haven't really like fleshed out what the character is, or like how they're supposed to act or react or any of that kind of stuff. All I know is like it's supposed to be more or less like a person who allows for things to work together when they ordinarily wouldn't. And that's the whole idea. This is also why I kind of am totally fine with having the voice be like somewhat androgynous. Like I want it to be like androgynous, but leaning femme. Like that's kind of what I was hoping for. I don't know if I can quite get there. I think, I don't know, like the fact that my first YouTube comment said gay actually made me a little bit worried, and was one of the reasons I didn't stream yesterday. Cause it's like, I mean, look, I know I'm still working on it. I get it. But like, why'd you use gay as a pejorative term? Like, come on, we're beyond that. Anyway, that is my ramble for today. We've been rambling for 7 minutes and almost 45 seconds. Wait. Now, 7 minutes and 45 seconds. That's a long ramble. So let's go ahead and get to the writing prompts. So we're going to go over here. I am no longer going to look at this, and I'm going to go to writing prompts, and we're going to read through, and we're going to see if any of the writing prompts are fun, enjoyable, and then we're going to go from there. Again, cringe phase. We are in the cringe phase. That is okay. It is okay to be cringe. That means you're growing, and the fact that you're like, the act of cringing means that you're growing beyond like what is it? It's like, there's a phrase. It's like pain is something leaving the body. Pain is fear leaving the body. Cringe is not fear, but like learning leaving the body. Yeah, that makes sense if you think about it, and then you stop thinking very quickly, because it actually doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so let's get started. And let's read through the comments, or let's read through the writing prompts. Let's go. I'm gonna start with new, and we're gonna see what we have. So number 1, it's not me, it's you. Oh, don't say that. Wait, what? It's not me, it's you. Don't say that. Wait, what? I mean, look, there's a lot of different ways to bring this prompt. I actually kind of like it, but like, wait, what? You work as a supervillain for hire. All of your clients are superheroes. Again, I got a banana. Oh, that's great. Wait, what? How did you get a banana? Gone banana badge. I don't know what that means. You work as a supervillain for hire. All your clients are superheroes. Okay, I mean, obviously it's a nice prompt, because like they're basically creating a society where like supervillains only act if Like, essentially, they're trying to put up a play of ordinary citizens believe that superheroes are saving the day, but they're not, because all the superheroes are hiring the supervillains. It's kind of a nice story. It's neat. I like it, but maybe not for now. So it's like those theoretical boxing matches. Exactly that. It's like everything is a like theater. It's not real. Yeah, you said theatrical. That's exactly what it is. It's nice. It's a nice story. But maybe not the one that I want to tell right now. For the last 45 years, completely indestructible 16-mile wide alien starship a completely indestructible 16-mile wide alien starship has been hovering above Marietta, Georgia. It has a slight list. It has a slight list and does nothing until this morning. Okay, no more hell. No more. Okay, I don't want hell. I don't want superheroes. I want something that's like new. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't write yesterday because I just was focusing on the whole being gay situation. So I'm hoping no hell today. I'm hoping no superheroes today. I want something different. I want something we haven't seen before. I want something cool. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can have something cool. In the near future, you are the king of the last monarchic nation in the world. As you plan the dissolution of the monarchy and relinquish rule to the country, of the country to the people, you're met with massive protest by everyone who agree that having you as their king is better than ruling it themselves. Hey, actually, the dissolution of the British monarchy is essentially what this is. You know, like, they already have a parliament. And not only do they already have a parliament, the monarchy is just there for show. And so, like, there's a lot of different ways in which we can write this prompt so that it's kind of already in the real world. And it's like 50 years from now with the dissolution of the British monarchy. The problem is I know nothing about the British monarchy. I'd be better talking about the Japanese, not shogun, what is Japanese, imperial, so in Japan, they have a parliament. Obviously, they have a parliament, but they also have a, what else do they have? They have a, it's not a monarchy. It's called something. Emperor. Thank you so much. The Emperor of Japan. They went to OIST. I almost had a chance to meet them, but I didn't because I was a year too late. Okay. Our love is like the difference between shrimp fried rice and a shrimp fried this rice. What? You always thought your wizarding life would begin with something like, "You're a wizard, Harry." You never expected it to actually start with, "You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage." I mean, not bad, that one. That one's not bad. We haven't done a magic school yet. You're a new psychologist, and the most senior coworker at your workplace has just put a bet that you wouldn't last a day. All the other employees surprisingly agreed with thoughtful expressions. Confused, you go to see your first patient of the day. That's actually not bad either. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with doing the Harry Potter one. I don't particularly like Harry Potter, but I think it's okay to use as like as a base to work off of for the story. I especially like the whole "you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage." I think that's kind of cool because, like, that means that in this reality they are completely willing to, jail kids, which is, I don't know, interesting in at least a little bit. So, in this reality, they because they're so happy to, jail children, we can actually start the story. I think that's kind of neat. Okay, so what's next? A knock sounded in the middle of the night. The time had come to be brave, so he looked to his wife. "You first." Huh. Okay, I'll give that one an upvote. It's nice. The people of Gotham have decided the Joker is to be put to death. Per the clown prince of crime last year, you have been given an ultimate budget with the goal of making his execution as funny as possible. Meh. I mean, the Joker's whole thing, it's not that, like, the thing about the Joker is that, like, they're not, the thing about the Joker is that they're not funny, haha funny. Like the Joker's supposed to be like kind of like they're a menace to Gotham. Like their whole thing is that they are like a chaotic entity, even chaotic neutral entity in the world around them. And that causes like wakes and kind of ripple effects throughout the entire society. So I'm not entirely sure if this even goes with the like concept of the Joker, unless you're saying that you are making it funny to make a mockery of everything that the Joker was, in which case I would maybe go with that. That's not bad. You have a pet fairy dragon, or maybe it's the other way around. You can never be sure with the Fae. Maybe after he serves your life, maybe after he saves your life, you start believing that it doesn't matter who's actually the pet. Let me try reading that one again. Give me just a second. You have a pet fairy dragon, or maybe it's the other way around. You can never be sure with the Fae. Maybe after he serves your life, you can start believing that it doesn't matter who's actually the pet. Okay, so of these so far, I think the only one that I'm finding that's like particularly compelling is the one for where is it? You're a Wizard, Harry? I think that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, give me just a second. Right. So I think I'm going to go for that one. And the other thing is, I think what I want to do is... wait 1 second. Sorry. 1 second. There's something going on my phone over here. Right. So, okay, that's solved. Sorry. I was typing. I know I shouldn't look at the phone while streaming. You guys are the most important thing in my life at this point in time. I guess, yeah. Anyway, so the only one I found interesting of these prompts is in the near future, you are the king. Oh, no. You always thought your wizarding life would begin with something like you're a wizard, Harry. You never expected it to actually start with you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. That one's quite good. Let me go ahead and make these a little bit bigger so I can save them. But I want a couple extra prompts to kind of piece out in Zernal PP in just a second. So let me go here and let's grab this one. That's really not bad. I really don't hate that one. Okay. The other one I kind of liked was this one. I don't know why. It just kind of spoke to me. You know, obviously it's a breakup text, but I don't know. Like sometimes you can make breakup text kind of fun. And then let's go here. This one as well. You work for a supervillain for hire. All of your clients are superheroes. Like this is, you can make this interesting. The world itself is interesting enough. Oops, I need to grab another image of that one. That one didn't work very well. You can make that one interesting enough. So I'm willing to grab that one as well. And let me just go ahead and check on Rising and Hot, because I realized last time when I did one of these that there was actually something on Hot that I really would have liked to write about. It was like a PhD student in a magic academy, or like it was a PhD student who died in the middle of their PhD, right? So they couldn't finish their PhD, and then they were revived into a magical world where they were doing another PhD, and they hated the magic system that was a part of that world. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice setup for a good story. So I'm going to see if there's any others around here, but I think we've got our 3 that we're going to piece out and see which one we like best. I'm kind of leaning toward the wizard school just because we haven't done a wizard school since we've started doing the writing prompts. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. One more thing I gotta do really quick is this. Sorry, I just gotta... Okay, you didn't see what I did? That's okay. You don't have to see what I do all the time. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I promise. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. I see you're worrying. You're worrying over there. I see you worrying in chat. You shouldn't. Don't worry about anything. It's okay. Life is gonna be fine. Yeah, life is gonna be fine. So anyway, you're right. The heroes aren't attacking you because you wrote the evil overlord list. But wait. You're right. The heroes aren't attacking you because you wrote the evil overlord list, but not for the reason you think. You follow it so religiously that you became a competent ruler. And we realize that as long as we leave you alone, you will leave us and ours alone. Again, that's actually not a bad prompt. I kind of like that one a lot. You are a wizard and many, there needs to be an and there. You are a wizard and many an unwanted child have landed on your manor doorstep. 26, in fact. You named them and fed them and taught them magic to be masters in their own right. And today you went on your first date in years, but you started to see an odd number of familiar faces sitting close by. Oh my goodness. Oh man. I know where this one needs to go. It has to be an intervention. Like, this person thought they were doing like a really, really good thing. You know, like they thought they were taking care of these children and the children were so happy, but actually they were a drunk the entire time. And all 26 of the infants. Yeah, that's the story. That is the story. That's a good story. Yeah, okay. So not bad. I like that story. I'm going to grab that story because I like it. But I also recognize that it's probably not the best to write out here. Okay, let's keep going. You have a lot of venom inside of you. Well, I'm a green dragon hybrid, so that's to be expected. That's the problem. You haven't used any, so now you have a buildup, and it might cause an infection in your venom ducts or worse. It's okay. I don't mind it. The people of Gotham have decided. We already read that one. You think you and your little fairy companion can defeat me, the dragon roared. Well, yes, the knight says. Fairy is super effective against dragon. Okay, come on, that should really be an established universe. That's not writing prompt. Who cares? All right, let me just go to hot as well. And then after that, we can go ahead and start writing. Again, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, feel free to let me know. Again, I recognize we're in the cringe phase. I get that. We'll get out of it eventually. That's okay. I think I already read most of these. So let's just go ahead and piece apart the ones that I got. And yeah, let's go from there. Okay, so journal, new page before. Open up my file browser. And pull out some pictures. And just plop them in here. One, make it big, make it big. Sure, that looks good, I guess. Okay, next. This one, make it big. Sure, that's great. Next one, here. Up here. Oh, nope, not that one. And this one. Up here. Perfect. And then one more, which I think is this one here. Okay, so let's piece apart these really quick, see what interesting stories we can find, and then we'll just go ahead and start writing. Yeah, I'm kind of excited for today. Like, unlike the other days, today I kind of feel like we have a lot of really good prompts to work off of. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go. Yeah. Okay, so first one, short prompt. It's not me, it's you. Oh, don't say that. Wait, what? It's not me, it's you. I think if this was the other way around, where it said it's you, not me, I would find this really compelling. But the fact that it's not me, it's you, like the standard phrase, and then it says, oh, don't say that. Wait, what? I guess it could indicate that the people who, it could indicate that the people who are breaking up right now are either one, they're not breaking up at all, as in like they didn't know that they were in a relationship. That actually could be pretty funny, like, or pretty compelling. You know, like there's like, how do I put this? Like there's like a girl and guy who are dating each other, or like the guy is like stalking the girl or something. And then the guy comes up and says, hey, it's not me, it's you. But it's like, wait, but I didn't know we were dating, you know? That'd be pretty funny. And then there's other prompts, like there's other ways we could take this as well. Like, you know, the person can't believe that this person's breaking up with him. But I think that the funniest one is that they didn't know they were dating. I think that's probably the best one. And then we have, you work as a supervillain for hire. All of your clients are for superheroes. Again, this one's quite nice. It's just because it builds up the society where like people don't know that their society is fundamentally broken at like a basic level. Like they don't know that, like all of the superheroes and supervillains, it's all just theater. Like they don't understand that. And because they don't understand that, yeah, I just don't know. Like, it's an interesting world, but I don't know where the I don't know where the story comes in. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, where is the story here? Because like, okay, it's an interesting world, but then we have to come up with the entire story on our own, and that's fine. It's fine. In fact, that's like kind of the fun of doing writing prompts, is coming up with a story. It's just not a compelling enough story. But then this one isn't compelling either. Like, okay, let's keep working on it. So you're a wizard and many an unwanted child. Again, this one's quite funny because I'm just imagining an intervention. And I think interventions of this nature are maybe a little bit funny. You know, like funny might not be the word I'm looking for, but like it could tell an interesting story, I think. Like, especially if, yeah. So like, especially this guy is like talking about like all of his, you know, everyone that he loved, all these people that he helped. And then at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, like they're talking. I'm not doing a very good job. Okay, give me a second. So at the end of the day, the whole story is him basically just talking about like all of these people he helped, all the 26 different kids that he helped. And then at the very last moment, like he sits down for the date and then he realizes this is an intervention for your alcohol consumption. I don't know. I find that like kind of, I could find it a good subversion of what people expect. And let's see. Then finally, you always thought your wizarding life would begin with something like, you're a wizard, Harry. You never expected it to actually start with, you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. Again, the only issue I have with this prompt is the whole like, you're a wizard, Harry. I don't really like playing off of like pre-existing universes and stuff like that. So that's not like, I don't necessarily want to go that direction. But I think it's you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. I think that's kind of fun. So I think that's the one that we want to sketch out for today. Yeah, also guys, okay, hear me out. I am getting super self-conscious right now. So what I might do is, like take another break for the day and spend a little bit more time doing like voice training for today, and then I'll come back on Monday for more streaming. I know I just started, and like I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm like yeah, I just have to work a bit, and I'm like a little bit sorry. But you have to write the story I know I have to write the story. But I'm just like super self-conscious right now. Like, yeah, okay, but I mean, like that's the point. That's the point of having the V2. It's okay. That's the point of having the V2 avatar. It's so that I can be a little bit cringe. That's the whole thing. I keep saying it over and over again. It's okay to be cringe. It's okay. And so I'm just going to be a little bit cringe for a bit, you know, and that's fine. It's okay. I mean, obviously my voice is like really, I don't know why, I've got like a weird like what is it? The vocal fry? I got that today. I don't know why I have vocal fry. I shouldn't have vocal fry. But it's there because I've been speaking too much, and now I'm like super nervous about everything. I sound like a pterodactyl. It's okay. I'm working on it. Let's get through the story. Let's write it. Let's do it. It's okay. Let's go. Okay. So, of these, the ones that I find the most compelling are this one. It's not me, it's you. And then the other one is, you always thought your wizarding life would start with something like, you're a wizard, Harry. I think I'm going to do that one for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that like, this one's too open-ended up here. And the second reason is that, you know, to be honest, this one's doing particularly well in terms of viewership, and the last couple of stories I wrote were not doing super well in terms of viewership. And so I kind of wanted to, I don't know, I'm willing to do something that's like a little bit more popular today. If it means that we can, like, you know, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. Okay. So let's sketch out this world. Okay. So journal, new page before, and so the one thing I don't like about the prompt is that it starts with like this assumption that like it's like in the Harry Potter universe. I don't know anything about Harry Potter. Like I read the books when I was like a kid, but like I remember nothing about them. I remember nothing about Harry Potter. So it's like, genuinely speaking, I don't even remember the "You're a Wizard, Harry," you know, thing, is that from the movies? Did that actually happen in the books? I don't remember. So that's the thing I don't like about this prompt. And I think it's going to make it so it's kind of difficult to, it's going to make it so it's a little bit difficult to write something if I don't know where it's from. But I think the thing that saves it is that it's coming, like the thing that saves it is that it is also the other quote. What is the other quote? The other quote is, "You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage." So let's write that down. So you're under arrest. You're under arrest for irresponsible and oh, I got it. I got the story. Oh boy. Okay, I got the story. This is going to be great. I'm actually really looking forward to this. So you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. Bunch of different directions we can go. There is a bunch of different directions we can go. Okay, so here's idea number one. Okay, the guy doesn't know they're doing magic. The guy, the main character doesn't know they are using magic. That's number one, right? So but the thing is, like, the prompt already assumes that the person did know that they were like doing magic, because like it says, oh, you always thought your wizarding life would start with this. So in a sense, like, they already knew it was going to be like, they already knew about magic in this universe. And I don't really know if that's like a good way to go, but I think in terms of the most compelling story, I think the most compelling story is like the main character is like doing stuff and they don't really realize it's magic. And then one day, like, the police knock on their door and they're like, "Yo, you are under arrest for doing magic." And they're like, "What? I didn't know. What is magic?" You know, this type of thing. The Harry Potter world has a thing where all non-adults have a tracker on them. So the Ministry of Magic can see whenever children do magic. Is that true? Is that actually the story for the Harry Potter universe? Like, that's creepy. That's super creepy. Okay, so that's plotline number one. Plotline number two is that, well, the main character, I like this. So the main character lives in the wizarding world, but can't do magic. And instead of doing magic, what they do is they like invent something. They're an inventor. You know what I mean? And so they find a way to invent something, and the wizarding world can't accept that the thing that they invented was not magic. So he invents something like, I don't know, or like brings in like a cell phone to the wizarding world. And like the wizarding world's like, "Yo, what is this? This has to be magic. And you're too young to use magic." And that could be an interesting plot line. So like they live in the wizarding world but can't do magic. They are a gifted inventor. Inventor. And they're a gifted inventor. And I need some water. Give me a second. Right, so they're a gifted inventor and invent something that the wizarding world believes to be magic, even though it's not. That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad. Like, I think it's best for this story to be told like in our universe, you know, like, so we know about Harry Potter, but like it's not. This person did not particularly want to go to wizarding school, because clearly it exists under a different, like a different set of rules than the rules of Harry Potter. Like, otherwise, you know, he wouldn't have been arrested in the first place. So it's really just a matter of figuring out like how to tell this story. It's figuring out how to tell the story in such a way that like, it's believable that the person did not know the laws that were related to the world that they live in, you know? So that's probably pretty good. which means I still think this first thread works as well. I just like this thread that the person didn't know they were doing magic to begin with. So I think what I want to do here is like something like with magic circles or something like this. So the person is like, you know, they're just kind of doodling in their notebook, and they notice one day that like one of the doodles kind of like glows for some reason. And they're like, why is that glowing? I don't understand why it's glowing. And then they just keep drawing it again, and it glows and glows and glows. And then eventually they do something like when they draw it in this way, like a little puff of smoke appears or something like this. And then when the puff of smoke appears, then they're like, oh, what can we do with this? And then eventually they start to realize that like they can like build an entire magic system off of the circles and everything. And then for that reason, they're arrested because they're doing unauthorized magic usage. And that could be it. Someone who can't do magic but lives in the magic. Someone who can't do magic but lives in the wizarding world is called a squib. Really? Isn't that like superconducting qubits or something? Superconducting quantum squid. What's a squib? Nope. Nope, that's a video. Squib. Am I thinking about squid? Superconducting. Squib is a miniature explosive device used in various industries. A squib is a miniature explosive device used in a wide variety of industries, from special effects to military applications. It resembles a tiny stick of dynamite, both in appearance and in construction, but has considerably less explosive power. Right? I know what these are. Who doesn't know what a squib is? I mean, everybody knows what a squib is, right? But also, I was thinking superconducting. I think it's superconducting, right? Superconducting. This is what I'm thinking of. Squids. Of course, they're squids with a D. A squid, a superconducting quantum interface device, is a very sensitive magnetometer used to measure extremely weak magnetic fields based on superconducting loops containing Josephson junctions. That's what I was thinking of. Cool. I mean, who doesn't like Josephson junctions, right? Am I right? Up top. Pew. That was a high five, and no one high-fived me back. That's okay. It's okay. We'll get there. You, me, we'll build a rapport. We'll get there. Don't worry. It's fine. I get it. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. Don't worry. I get it. I wouldn't high five me either. Like I wouldn't. Okay. So I think this is a story we want to tell, something about how the MC is like doing something. I like the magic circles. I think that's the way to go. So let's go ahead and draw this out. Journal, new page before. So we have the main character, right? So here's the main character. Okay. They're just a normal main character. I don't really know why, but I'm drawing them out. Here they are. They're happy because the main character is always happy because it's a book and books are not real. So, I don't even really know what to draw. I guess one day they just draw a circle and they like draw like maybe an inner circle, and they kind of like do something like this on like their paper or something. I guess they have to find like a magic pen or like a magic notebook or something like this, like something. You know, so I guess one day they find a magic pen and they don't realize there's magic in the pen. And this allows for them to like draw magic circles. And then they just start drawing a bunch of magic circles that do a bunch of things. And eventually they get arrested for underage, like magic usage. It's okay. It's like not the best story I've ever come up with, but it's okay. Let's just go and write it out. There has to be something here. I don't know what like the emotional impact is. You know, like there's no real deep story here. You know what I mean? Like, the person just draws magic circles and gets arrested. I that's okay, but like it's not like super how do I put this? It's not like, it doesn't speak to anyone at like a fundamental level, you know, unless there's like something about how I mean, okay, there could be something about how like the society is arresting a child for like doing magic. I mean, there's something there, right? So I think if we need to say something about society at large and how it is willing to arrest a child in the first place for doing magic, and how everyone is so like incredibly afraid of magic that like this is acceptable behavior. Yeah, that's not bad. So yeah, I think that's where we start. Yeah. Okay. I think that's where we start. Okay. I have no idea what to draw, so let's just go ahead and start writing. Yeah, I have no idea what to draw. Okay. So let's go over here. Yep, there are my terminals. Over there, over there. Let's open up another giant terminal. From now on, I should just have a big terminal. Why do I have these terminals up? Like, no one cares about these terminals. Okay, up. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna CD into projects, scribbles, ls here, CD into source, content, 2025, ls here, CD into April, ls here, and we are on the 4th. vi4.md. Okay, and again, the story here is that magic doesn't exist, but it does exist. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, so it has to be a myth, you know? Like, it's got to be one of those things that, like, people know about. Like, it's in the history of the world, but I don't know what happened to my voice there. I'm so sorry. It's in the history of the world, but it's in the history of the world, but nowadays it's not part of like everyday life. And I think if we tell the story in that way, it can be somewhat compelling, you know? So let's go and start with that. So we'll say a mystery that is, okay. Let's write down the prompt first and we'll go from there. So prompt. Here we go. Prompt. Okay, that was stupid. I'm so sorry. Please don't unsubscribe. I only have like 5 subscribers right now. Please don't unsubscribe. Okay, so where are we? This one. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's just grab this bad boy. Put it over here. Prompt. And this one. Go ahead and grab a link. I did it incorrectly. Give me a second. Paste that there. And there. Okay, so what's the story? The story is 1, magic used to exist. It doesn't anymore. It doesn't anymore. And 3, it doesn't anymore. And some person rediscovers magic after a long hiatus and are put in prison. Sure. So there has to be like a story about how why magic was hidden in the first place. Like that has to be part of the story. So things that we have to talk about: 1, why magic was hidden away, which is very clear. People fear what they don't know. People fear what they don't know. And we can understand science, but we can't understand magic. And so like this is a situation where like magic was only in the hands of a select few who had like magical attributes, whereas technology anybody could use for any reason, and it didn't require like a special skill to use, you know? And so slowly but surely magic was outlawed, except for in very specific circumstances. Because otherwise, you know, like otherwise, yeah, you know. Okay, so that's fine. And that's actually a really good story to talk about how like, like certain groups of people are disserviced by society, and like there's some like things that we can talk about at large. But also like not every story has to have like a super deep like meaning to it. Sometimes you can just write a story for fun, and this might be one of the stories we just write for fun. So let's just start writing and see where it goes. Again, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I'll totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. Again, I'm a little bit low energy today. Sorry about that. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. No thanks. I don't really want viewers. I'm perfectly happy with the viewers I have. So you are going to be deleted. And if you guys have any other comments besides the whole like buy viewers now, then let me know, and I'll be totally I'm into that. Thank you. Okay, so magic used to exist. It doesn't anymore. Some person rediscovers magic after a long hiatus and are put in prison. That's it. That's the story. I think that's an okay story. Yeah, I think that's an okay story. So let's go from there. I'm not entirely sure where to start, but I want to start with like this imbalance between people. Like some people are naturally gifted. They're able to do some things that other people can't. And then what we need to do is we need to go from like this story of like, some people being naturally gifted, but some people have clear talent that goes beyond that ability. You know what I mean? I just really like this idea that magic doesn't exist. It's just a bunch of like really talented people, like talented sportsmen, or like talented like like talented whatever. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea of magic not existing in like you can conjure fire or you can conjure water, but it's more like if somebody exists outside of the norm, you know what I mean? Like if they exist and they're like too fast, like they're too fast in the water, or they're too strong, or they're I don't know, too smart or something like that. They're just called witches or wizards, and then they're put into jail. I like that idea a lot, actually. I really like that idea. It's so much so that I'm kind of willing to forego the prompt today and try to write that story instead. Let me get some water. In which case, I think there's actually a really good story to tell here, where it's like, where did you get that? Man, I need that. That is a good emote to have. Anyway, I think that's actually a really good story to have. Like to say that my grandfather was a wizard and he was put in jail and lived his entire life. And we always lived in shame knowing that my grandfather was a wizard, and then to keep talking further about it. Yeah, this is great. I think, okay, that's what we need to do. By all accounts, I would consider myself to be a normal person. There is strength in normality. So basically what I'm trying to do here is explain the society that they live in, such that like, the act of being normal is seen as the greatest good, right? And that outliers, if they do exist, are almost always ostracized. And that's what we're trying to play at here. We're trying to play at this, we're trying to create a society where like, the world naturally just like slaps down anyone who's abnormal. And these abnormalities could be at the lower end or they could be at the upper end. And the people that are on the upper end are considered wizards. And the people on the lower end are considered like, I don't know, like, I don't know where we're going with that part, but that's okay. We'll get there. Okay. So, how do I put this? I want to say something like, every day is the same. I get up, shower, go to school, and study. So does everyone else I know. Every day is the same. I get up, shower, go to school, and study. So does everyone else I know. We are all the same. Same, and there is strength. Because there is strength in normalcy, in understanding, standing, where, in understanding, where, what, where, how everyone will act and interact with each other, Again, I don't like this intro. There's something about it. It's not quite what I want. Every day is the same. I get up, shower, every day is the same. I get up, shower, go to school, and study. So does everyone else I know. We're all the same because there's strength in normalcy, in understanding how everyone will act and interact with each other. This is kind of too far. You know what I mean? Like it's too far. It's not exactly the story I wanted to tell. Okay, so let's say, so the story here is that there's the magic is not a superpower, but magic is magic is outside the norm. I think that's the story I'm looking at here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to start writing. Again, I really want to, I don't necessarily want to say everything in the world is normal. What I want to give is the impression that the main character lives in a normal life, you know? And the act of living in a normal life allows them to, like, gives them certain benefits. You know, living within the boundaries that society has placed for you gives you, like, strength, you know? Like, there's safety. Safety, that's what I'm looking for. So safety in normalcy. That's I think the thing that I'm trying to get at here. Like, there's, by being one in the crowd, you can be pretty sure that the crowd, is kind of more or less in the right direction, you know? So I think there's a law. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the law of average number, the median law of the median. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's like a, it's like if you're asking a number of people, like how many jelly beans are in a jar, it's almost impossible for like a single person to get it right. But if you ask like a whole bunch of people, like 1,000 people, then probably the median, right? The most common middle value probably is going to be the right value. Yeah. So that's like the law of the median, I think is what it's called. I don't exactly know where it is. But yeah, so that's like, there's power in this, you know, like, so the law of the median, I feel like that's what it is, right? Now, AI, shut up, Google. I don't care about AI. Okay. Shut up. Okay. Median voter theorem. Is this it? The median voter theorem? In political science and social choice, the median voter theorem states that if voters and candidates are distributed along a one-dimensional spectrum and voters have single-peaked preference, any voting method that is compatible with majority rule will elect the candidate preferred by the median voter. I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Median mechanics is a rule for group decision making along a one-dimensional domain. I think I don't need to know the rule, like what it's called. I think it's okay if I just like start talking about it. Let's say there's a jar in front of you. It has a certain number of jelly beans. Your task is to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. Okay, let's just go there. Let's say you are tasked at determining the number of jelly beans in a jar. Almost certainly. No offense. No, okay. You will almost certainly get it wrong. It's just impossible to exactly guess the right number. But now let's say that there are a number of people, different people, all of which are guessing how many beans are in the jar. Okay? But now let's say there are a number of different people, all of whom are guessing how many beans are in the jar. All of whom, is it whom or whom? whom. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. But now let's say there are a number of different people, all of whom are guessing how many beans are in the jar. Chances are the median of all the guesses will probably be pretty close to the actual answer, right? So I think, yeah, okay. So let's say you're tasked at determining the number of jelly beans in a jar. You will almost certainly get it wrong. It's just impossible to exactly guess the right number. But now let's say that there are a number of different people, all of whom are guessing how many beans are in the jar. The median of all the guesses will probably be pretty close to the actual answer. There is a mathematical reason for this, but that doesn't matter for this story. But this is a relatively simple example. This is a relatively simple example that showcases the power in a community, the power in I don't know if this is actually telling the story I want to tell. Like, the story I want to tell is that they live in a society, that like only goes based on the median response. You know, like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a simple, intuitive reason as to why society has stopped listening to outliers, like why they stopped listening to like magicians in this case, because the magician in this case is like just anyone who's good at anything is considered a magician in this universe. So what I want to do is I want to find a way to like express that intuitively, emotionally, so people understand it just by reading a paragraph without like thinking too deeply about the thing that they're reading. So I don't think this is the way to go. I think this is the way to go. So it's 6 a.m. It's let's say 6:30. At 6:30, my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. Every morning. I take a shower, dry my hair, do a little makeup, but not too much because school doesn't allow me to wear makeup. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules at school. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work either. My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school. Japanese words, yes. What Japanese words? I know a little bit of Japanese. If you write some Japanese, I might be able to understand it. Japanese words. Oh, like hi. Hai, arigatou gozaimasu. I understand them all. Trust. Oh, hai. Nihongo wakarimasu yo. Skoshi nihongo wakarimasu. 5年 沖縄に住んでいます。でも、私の仕事は、英語です。それは、私は少し、本当に少し日本語わかりますよ。大丈夫？ Okay, that's about the best I can do. I'm so sorry, my Japanese sucks. But I am working on it. Like I do Duolingo every day or so to learn more Japanese. Hello, YouTube chat that we can't see. Oh yeah, YouTube chats. I don't know how to fix that because I'm giant and the model is covering. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Okay, so my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower. I dry my hair. I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There is power. There's safety in normalcy. Yeah, I think that's the route I want to go with the story. There's safety in normalcy, I think, is a good way to go. So my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety in normalcy. Now, this, I think, already tells the story that I want to tell in a way. Like, how do I put this? The story I want to tell is that society doesn't like magicians, and magicians are anybody who act outside of the norm. That said, I have a secret, something that only my family knows, and I am never, ever allowed to, my voice is dying. Give me a second. Something that only my family knows, and I'm never, ever allowed to speak about publicly. Publicly? My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety and normalcy. That said, I have a secret, something that only my family knows, and I'm never, ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. Okay, so now we're at the stage where we have to describe what a magician is in this universe. And again, in this universe, it's our universe, just with like a really strict, like government structure or something like this. So basically, a magician is anyone who does something outside of the norm. And so for him, what he did outside of the norm, I think, was maybe something like technologically savvy, or like, how do I put this? It's like, he could have just been like a super fast swimmer, you know, like just something that's a little bit weird that like you wouldn't ordinarily think is weird, but in this universe, it is weird enough that they consider him to be like a genius, and geniuses are put in jail. So that's what it is. So, so my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety in normalcy. That said, I have a secret. It's something that only my family knows, and I'm never, ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. There we go. Okay. He wasn't a grand wizard or anything. So here we have to, like, I don't like the idea of a grand wizard. What is a grand wizard? What does that mean in this sense? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so my grandfather was a magician. You? Okay. He didn't do anything that would... Yeah, there's something about this that I can't quite... Maybe I should have magic. Okay, maybe it's okay to have magic, right? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to have a little bit of magic in your system. I think I'm just going to say he's been in jail for as long as I can remember. I have spoken to him. I've spoken to him a few times, but I know better than to listen too deeply. After all, I don't want to be led astray. There's safety in normalcy. Okay, so I think this is actually really good. So my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety and normalcy. That said, I have a secret, something that only my family knows and I'm never ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. He's been in jail for as long as I can remember. I've spoken to him a few times, but I know better than to listen too deeply. After all, I don't want to be led astray. There's safety and normalcy, right? And so here what we've done is we've taken this, there's safety and normalcy, and we've explained it in two different ways. One is using it in the positive sense, in that like there is a routine that everybody goes through every day. And by having this routine, you feel like you have some power, some sense of structure to your life. And then secondarily, we've said that because we want to maintain safety in society, anyone who is deemed as unsafe, i.e. the grandfather who was a magician, they are basically kicked out of society. There's safety and normalcy, right? And so I think this ultimately is it's going in the right direction, I think. So my alarm goes off at 6:30 in the morning. Okay. So now where do we go from here? So I think there was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river. I think I'm going to go back to the magic circle story. I think it's just easier to tell. And also, like, it's okay that there's a little bit of magic in the world. It's fine. It's totally fine to have some magic, you know? There was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river. I was just skipping stones with a few friends and passing time. You know, normal kid stuff. But then I saw something next to the riverbank. At first, I couldn't quite tell what it was. A small, what looked like a small rock that glittered against the water, against the rushing water. It's too much there. So what looked like a small rock that glittered against the rushing water, it looked like a small, maybe I should, but then I saw something in the middle of the river. I saw something, but then I saw something amidst the rocks in the river. I saw something glittering glittering amidst the rocks in the river. I don't know why. But I waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen. It was a small black pen. Very clearly out of ink. There was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river, just skipping stones with a few of my friends and passing time. You know, normal kid stuff. But then I saw something glittering amid the rocks. Glittering amidst the rocks in the river. I feel like amidst is a word that I'm looking for. I don't know why, but I waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. I picked it up. I brought it home with me. And kept it in my desk. I brought it home with me and kept it in my desk. Again, I don't know why I did it. I then saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river, and I waded in to pick it up. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it. It was very clearly. I don't know why I did it. There is safety. There's safety in normalcy. And the pen felt abnormal. So the idea is that the pen, in this case, like if we're relating it to the Harry Potter universe, like the pen is, the pen would be like her wand or something like this. And so the idea would be like the magic would kind of like fill into the pen and like give her ink. And then that ink could be used for like casting spells with magic circles or something like this. Like that's kind of the idea I'm going with here. But the thing I'm trying to figure out is how to sell the idea that like picking up the pen was abnormal, because like it's not that abnormal, right? Like I don't know why I did it. There's safety and normalcy. I don't think anything I did was abnormal. I don't think anything I did that day was abnormal. But the pen gave me a feeling. Okay, so I think we need to go back up here. So when I saw something glittering, but then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river and waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen that was very clearly out of ink. It was a small black pen that was very clearly out of ink. Now what? I don't know why. No, why? But it felt different. It felt smooth. It felt clean. It felt, there was a certain feeling I got when holding it in my hand, and there was a certain feeling I got when holding it in my hand. I can't fully describe it. It wasn't like, so obviously if I can't fully describe it, I can't fully write it. But then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river and waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. There was a certain feeling I got when holding it in my hand. I can't fully describe it. It was like I was meant to hold it. It just fit right. No, it was like I was meant to hold it. But then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river and waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. There was a certain feeling I got when holding it in my hand. I can't fully describe it. It was like I was meant to hold it in a way. It was like I was meant to hold it in a way. It just fit. I couldn't. I reasoned. I thought to myself, I knew I couldn't just leave it. I knew I could just leave it, so I brought it home, telling myself that I would figure out how to recycle it later. It's not bad. This is good. It's good. We're getting there. Okay. So I knew I couldn't just leave it, so I brought it home, telling myself I would figure out how to recycle it later. There's safety in normalcy. I don't think anything I did that day was abnormal. But what I did next Certainly was. Okay. Hey, this isn't bad. We're getting there. Okay, so, let me just read it through one more time. My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. It's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety and normalcy. That said, I have a secret. It's something that only my family knows, and I'm never, ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. He's been in jail for as long as I can remember. I've spoken to him a few times, but I know better than to listen too deeply. After all, I don't want to be led astray. There's safety and normalcy. There was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river. I was just skipping stones with a few of my friends and passing time. You know, normal kid stuff. But then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river and waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. There was a certain feeling I got when holding it. I can't fully describe it. It was like I was meant to hold it in a way. I knew I couldn't just leave it, so I brought it home, telling myself that I would figure out how to recycle it later. There's safety and normalcy. I don't think anything I did that day was abnormal, but what I did next certainly was. One day, when doing homework. Later that afternoon, my normal pen. When doing homework later that afternoon, my normal pen ran out of ink. When doing homework later that afternoon, my normal pen ran out of ink. So, I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. Okay? When doing homework later that afternoon, my pen ran out of ink. So, I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was out of ink. But, without thinking anything too deep, I decided I tried to write with it anyway. And surprisingly, it worked. A small trail of jet black ink. Left the pen. I don't like this. Like a small trail of jet black ink and produced a small trail of jet black ink. At the time, I just figured the pen actually did have ink and finished my homework as normal. But I did notice something odd. Every time I would loop certain characters, like for O's, is it like this? And A's, this? Every time I lose certain characters like O's and A's, I would see, I felt like my eyes were playing tricks on me. I saw a small flash of light coming from the page. Again, I didn't think this was abnormal. This was abnormal. I thought my eyes were just playing tricks on me. So I continued to do my homework. So I continued to do my homework. Okay, that, I need to retype all of that. I didn't think this was abnormal. Abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to do my homework. So I continued to finish my homework. Okay, let's read through that. So in doing homework later that afternoon, my normal pen ran out of ink, so I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was out of ink, but without thinking anything too deep, I tried to write with it anyway. And surprisingly, it worked and produced a small trail of jet black ink. I should say it was empty here, because I'm saying out of ink too much. I'm like, out of ink, out of ink, out of ink. Like, ugh, come on. So when doing homework later that afternoon, my normal pen ran out of ink, so I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was empty, but without thinking anything too deep, I tried to write with it anyway, and surprisingly, it worked and produced a small trail of jet black ink. At the time, I just figured the pen actually did. The pen actually wasn't empty after all. I think I can just go ahead and go further. Surprisingly, it worked. Here we go. But I did notice something odd. X, J, there we go. But I did notice something odd. Every time I looped certain characters, 1 second. Every time I looped certain characters, like for O's and A's, I saw a small flash of light coming from the page. Again, I didn't think this was abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish my homework, as usual. I turned it in. The next day, got a C. Everything was as it normally was. There is power in, there's safety in, what did I say? There's safety in normalcy. That afternoon, okay, so that afternoon, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the day before. I went home. When I went home, I took out a fresh page of paper, and I took out a fresh page of paper, when I went home, I took out a fresh page of paper and the pen as well. I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. Okay, so this is a little bit hard to explain, but basically she knows she's about to do magic, right? She knows she's about to do magic. And because she knows she's about to do magic, she's basically trying to like push through that like feeling that she has in her gut. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do right now. Like we're trying to like portray the fact that she's doing magic and she knows it's illegal and she knows she's going to go to jail, but she has to do it anyway because she feels compelled to do so, you know? So, but that afternoon, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the day before. When I got home, I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. I then took a second to think about what I was about to do, and I felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. I then put the pen to the page. I then put the pen to the page and drew a large circle. When I completed it, again, there was a large flash of light. I was shocked. I was shocked by a huge flash of light. I was shocked by a huge flash of light and fell off my chair. Okay, but that afternoon, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the day before. So, but during the day, okay, so when doing homework, when doing homework later that afternoon, my normal pen ran out of ink. So I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one that I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was empty, but without thinking anything too deep, I tried to write with it anyway. Surprisingly, it worked and produced a small trail of jet black ink. I did notice something odd. Every time I looped certain characters, like for O's and A's, I saw a small flash of light coming from the page. Again, I didn't think this was abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish my homework as usual. At the time, there we go. At the time, I didn't think this was abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish my homework as usual. I turned it in the next day. I got a C. Everything was as it normally was. Everything was as it normally was. And there's safety and normalcy. But during the day, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the night before. Later that evening, okay, so when doing homework later that evening, there we go. But during the day, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the night before. When I went home, I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. When I got home, oh my goodness, give me a second. Okay, sorry, 1 second. Okay, so when I got home, I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I then took a second to think about what I was about to do and felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. I then put the pen to the page and drew a large circle. When I completed it, I was shocked by a huge flash of light and fell off my chair. I knew in that moment what I had done. It was something I knew was abnormal. Something I knew I should not have done. Magic. Okay, so in that moment, I knew what I had done. It was something abnormal, something I knew I should not have done. Magic. That's okay. It's not the best, not the best writing, but it's okay. So I knew in that moment what I'd done is something I knew was abnormal. Magic. Something my grandfather knew about so much about. I knew in that moment what I'd done. It was something I knew was abnormal, something I knew I should not have done, something my grandfather knew. There needs to be like a third thing here, but I don't know what the I don't know what the third thing should be. So I'm just gonna keep going and we'll figure it out in a bit. So I knew in that moment what I'd done. It was something I knew was abnormal, something I knew I should not have done. Magic. That's okay. I'll leave it. It's okay. It's okay. I'll leave it. Okay, so next. In the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours a day. Would spend a few hours a day drawing different things, circling them, and seeing them come to life. In the following weeks, in the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours every day drawing different things and circling them and seeing them come to life. And seeing them come to life. In the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours a day drawing different things, circling them, and seeing them come to life. I found a few rules to follow, and ultimately started to learn how to draw magic circles. I found myself incredibly excited. Every day I found myself to be incredibly excited. I was incredibly excited to go home, and every day I was incredibly excited to go home and practice a little more. I found myself doing a number of abnormal things. I wouldn't hang out with friends. I wouldn't do homework. I stayed up a little too late. I wouldn't even hang out with friends. Okay, in the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours a day drawing different things, circling them, and seeing them come to life. I found a few rules to follow and ultimately started to learn how to draw magic circles. Every day, I was incredibly excited to go home and practice a little more. I found myself doing a number of... In my excitement, I found myself doing a number of abnormal things. I wouldn't do homework. I would stay up a little too late. I wouldn't do homework. I'd stay up a little too late. I wouldn't even hang out with friends. Then, one day, everything came to an end. Then, one day, everything came to an end. There was a knock on the door. And a loud, threatening voice and a loud threatening voice appeared on the other side. It said, "Open up." This is the police. What does the prompt say again? It says, "You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage." It said, "Open up. This is the police. Come out with your hands up." I did as I was told and placed in handcuffs. The officer said, "You are under arrest for underage illegal. What is it? You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage." That's what I'm looking for. One second. $. J, you're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. I then saw another officer rummaging through my room, through the window. I then saw another officer. Through the window, I then saw another officer rummaging through my stuff in the room, rummaging through my room, trying to figure out what kind of magic I was using and how I was casting spells. I went with them willingly. After all, there is safety in normalcy, and I was abnormal. I think that's not bad. I mean, it's okay. It's certainly not as... I don't like it as much as I like the other writing that I did, but it's not bad. I think it's okay. So I'm going to go through and read it one more time, and we're going to see how it goes, okay? And then if... I think we're done for now. Yeah, I think we're done for now. But, yeah, we'll read through it and see how we like it. So magic is outside the norm. That's the name of this short story. And I'm going to read it. Give me some water. Let me get some water. Okay, so let's go. My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. 1 second. So my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety in normalcy. That said, I have a secret, something that only my family knows, and I'm never ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. He's been in jail for as long as I can remember. I have seen him a few times, but I know better than to listen too closely. 1 second. But I know better than to listen too deeply. After all, I don't want to be led astray. There's safety in normalcy. There was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river. I was just skipping stones with a few friends and passing time. You know, normal kid stuff. But then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river, and waded in to pick it up. Man, I'm having some trouble reading today. Give me a second. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. There was a certain feeling I got when holding it in my hand. I can't fully describe it. It was like I was meant to hold it in a way. I knew I couldn't just leave it, so I brought it home, telling myself that I would figure out how to recycle it later. There's safety in normalcy, and I don't think anything I did that day was abnormal. But what I did next certainly was. I think I can just leave it here and do that, and this, and the $sign. I don't want her to know exactly when she started doing abnormal things, you know? Like, there's a, how do I put this? Like, she knows at some stage during this, like, while reading the story, she knows, and we know, that, like, she did something abnormal. But, like, I don't want her to know, like, I don't want it to be at this point, you know? So when doing homework later that evening, my normal pen ran out of ink. So I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was empty, but without thinking anything too deep, I tried to write with it anyway. Surprisingly, it worked and produced a small trail of jet black ink, but I did notice something odd. Every time I looped certain characters, like for O's and A's, I saw a small flash of light coming from the page. At the time, I didn't think this was abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish my homework as usual. I turned it in the next day, I got a C, everything was as it normally was, and there's safety in normalcy. But that day, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw before. But during the day, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the night before. When I went home, I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I then took a second to think about what I was about to do, and felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. I then put the pen to the page and drew a large circle. When I completed it, I was shocked by a huge flash of light and fell off my chair. I knew in that moment what I had done. It was something I knew was abnormal, something I knew I should not have done. Magic. In the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours a day drawing different things, circling them and seeing them come to life. I found a few rules to follow and ultimately started to learn how to draw magic circles. Every day, I was incredibly excited to go home and practice a little more. In my excitement, I found myself doing a number of abnormal things. I wouldn't do homework. I would stay up a little too late. I wouldn't even hang out with friends. Then one day, everything came to an end. There was a knock on the door and a loud, threatening voice appeared on the other side. It said, "Open up. This is the police. Come out with your hands up." I did as I was told and was placed in handcuffs. One second. I did as I was told and was placed in handcuffs. The officer said, "You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court." Through the window, I then saw another officer rummaging through my room, trying to figure out what kind of magic I was using and how I was casting spells. I went with them willingly. After all, there's safety, normalcy, and I was abnormal. It's okay. Like, it's not the best writing I've ever done, but like, hey, it's not bad. So let me go ahead and turn it into the, like the scrolling thing like I normally do. And good. So let's do right quit here. Let's CD back a couple directories, CD. I don't know what I'm doing. CD back one more directory, CD into scripts. Now we're going to do /convert to video, source, content, 2025, April 4.md. I'm going to make a video. And while we're making the video, I'm going to go ahead and put the thing up. Give me a second. I need to do this, and I need to do that. This. Okay, hello, hey. Show and tell. Here. Can you guys see? Okay, you see it? Good. I need to overwrite. Okay, and it looks like we are good to go. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I will totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. Yeah. Right now, we're just creating the final video to go through, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so like I said earlier in today's stream, I understand, like, it's cringy. It's a little bit of a cringy stream. I'm getting through the cringe. I know. I'm so sorry. We're cringe buddies. All of us cringing together, working on it. How do you write so well? I appreciate the compliment, but I mean, like, you know, how do you program so well? How do you do anything so well? It's like writing is an art, and like any art, you just have to practice and then you get there. I've tried writing, but it's all static and boring. I'm unable to paint any scenes or write any emotions and stuff. Yeah, it's hard, right? I mean, like, anything creative is hard. Yeah, I would say, like, the only way you can start to write well is by practicing. And unfortunately, it's really hard to figure out how to practice. So, you know, you see it here on stream. Like the other day, there was a guy who came here and they said that they have a completely different writing style than I do. You know, like for me, I do a lot of writing and then rewriting and then rewriting and a lot of revision and all this kind of stuff. But like this other person can just write, you know? And so I think every person has their own writing style that works differently for them. And I think it's just a matter of figuring out what works for you and then kind of going from there. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, it's quite hard for me to respond because it's like I've been writing my entire life since I was like 4, you know. I mean, I can't remember a time when I wasn't writing. You know, like programming, I can remember a time when I didn't do programming, right? Like I can remember a time when I was like, how do I put it? Like I can remember a time when I was learning to code, but I can't remember a time when I was like learning to write, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to exactly explain. But yeah, we can talk about it later, definitely. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So MPV, final.mp4. Okay, so I think we have the video. Oh, no. 1 second. I use a drawing tablet as a pen, and I dropped the pen. Didn't drop the tablet, but I dropped the pen. Okay, so let's go. Okay. So the story we wrote today is called Magic is Outside the Norm. Okay. So My voice is shot. Let me get some water. I think it's okay. I don't think this is the best story I've ever written, but I think it's okay, and I think it's okay to be okay sometimes, right? So let's go ahead and start reading it. So here's a story we wrote today. It's called Magic is Outside the Norm. Magic is outside the norm. My alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. I take a shower, I dry my hair, I do a little makeup, but not too much because it's technically against the rules. I then go to school, just like everyone else. There's safety in normalcy. That said, I have a secret, something that only my family knows and I'm never ever allowed to speak about publicly. My grandfather was a magician. He's been in jail for as long as I can remember. I have spoken to him a few times, but I know better than to listen too deeply. After all, I don't want to be led astray. There's safety in normalcy. Sorry, a little bit nervous. There was a day not too long ago when I found myself next to a river. I was just skipping rocks. I was just skipping stones with a few friends and passing time. You know, normal kid stuff. But then I saw something glittering amidst the rocks in the river and waded in to pick it up. It was a small black pen, which was very clearly out of ink. But there was a certain feeling I got when I was holding it in my hand. I can't fully describe it. It was like I was meant to hold it in a way. I knew I couldn't just leave it. So I brought it home, telling myself that I would figure out how to recycle it later. There's safety and normalcy, and I don't think anything I did that day was abnormal. When doing homework later that evening, my pen ran out of ink, so I dug into my drawer and pulled out the one I fetched from the river earlier. I knew it was empty, but without thinking anything too deep, I tried to write with it anyway. Surprisingly, it worked, and produced a small trail of jet black ink. But I did notice something odd. Every time I looped certain characters, like for O's and A's, I saw a small flash of light coming from the page. At the time, I didn't think this was abnormal. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish up my homework as normal. I'm really struggling to read today. Give me 1 second. I just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I continued to finish my homework as usual. I turned it in the next day. I got to see everything was as it normally was, and there's safety in normalcy. But during the day, I couldn't stop thinking about the flashes of light I saw the night before. When I went home, I took out the pen and a fresh page of paper. I then took a second to think about what I was about to do and felt my heart racing a little for a reason I couldn't quite explain. I then put the pen to the page and drew a large circle. When I completed it, I was shocked by a huge flash of light and fell off my chair. In that moment, I knew what I had done. It was something I knew was abnormal, something I knew I should not have done. Magic. In the following few weeks, I would spend a few hours a day drawing different things, circling them and seeing them come to life. I found a few rules to follow and ultimately started to learn how to draw magic circles. I have to reread that sentence. Give me a second. I found a few rules to follow and ultimately started to learn how to draw magic circles. Every day, I was incredibly excited to go home and practice a little more. In my excitement, I found myself doing a number of abnormal things. I wouldn't do homework. That's not a sentence. 1 second. I wouldn't do homework. I would stay up a little too late. I wouldn't even hang out with friends. Then, one day, everything came to an end. There was a knock on the door and a loud, threatening voice appeared on the other side. It said, "Open up. This is the police. Come out with your hands up." I did as I was told and was placed in handcuffs. The officer said, "You're under arrest for irresponsible and underage magic usage. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court." Through the window, I then saw another officer rummaging through my room, trying to figure out what kind of magic I was using and how I was casting spells. I went with them willingly. After all, there's safety and normalcy, and I was abnormal. Okay, so, right, long story short, I don't hate this one. I don't think it was as good as the other ones I have been writing, but I think it's good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I like the whole, there's safety, normalcy, and I was abnormal. I like that feeling. I like it a lot. There's one typo I have to fix, and then we can go ahead and commit it to GitHub, go ahead and put it on Reddit. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back, CD into source, content, 2025, April, go into vi4.md, go down here to the bottom. There we go. And then the other typo was up here. I wouldn't do homework. I would stay up a little too late. There we go. Now we're going to open this up in LibreOffice 4.md. I'm just going to copy everything. Here we go. Copy, copy. I think I have to copy more. There we go. Control C. And then I just need to go over here and paste it. Is that it? No, there's more. Control Z, Control V, Control V. There we go. And now I need to put the website, which is anthonymancer.com. Oh, actually, let's go through and do an A-spell really quick. That's a good point. A-spell -C 4.md. Astray, definitely. Amidst, amid. Is amidst not a word? Amidst. I think amidst is fine. I think it's fine. We're going to ignore that one. We're going to ignore that one as well. Okay, so now we're going to reopen this in LibreOffice. Amidst is, yeah, it's definitely a word, right? Okay, so open this up. We're going to copy everything again. Oh, we're going to copy everything again. Scroll down here. There we go. We're going to paste this over, 1 second. Over here on Reddit. There we go. Control V. Okay. Now we got to put the website. Amphimancer.com. Amphimancer.com. There we go. Yank. Paste that over here. Okay. Save that. And then we're going to commit that to GitHub and we're good to go. Amidst is not in the US probably. Yeah, maybe it's not in the US dictionary. I mean, I'm sure it's legally allowed in the US. Okay, so now we're going to do git add 4.md, cd back, cd back a couple more, vi make.jl. Grab this line, paste it up here. And what did I call it again? It was like magic's not normal. Something like that. 1 second. Let me go back. VI source content. 2025 April 4.md. Magic is outside the norm. I like that one better. Magic is outside the norm. Oh, sorry. Outside the norm. And it's going to be on number 4.md. Double check this works. So Julia, _project, make.jl. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Let me just double check that this works and commit it to GitHub. So the Firefox build index.html. On my screen over here, it seems to be working okay. Yeah. Okay. Looks fine to me. Okay. I think the other thing I need to do is go back over here to OBS and take off the sound maker or the sound visualizer. Okay, so that is it for today. Let me go ahead and commit this to GitHub, git add, make.jl, git add. I think I already added it. Let's do add source content 2025 April 4.md, git status, git commit -m. Adding today's story. Today, adding April 4. Okay, git push, origin, main. Okay, so that should be up on the website soon. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for coming in. All the chats, all the comments, all that. I really appreciate it. Thank you, TS Jost and Clouts. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Like I said, we are like incredibly new to the channel and like I'm still trying to figure a whole bunch of different things out. I know like we're really far in like the super cringy phase of the channel content creation. I get that. I'm still working on like a lot of different things and I think over time everything's gonna iron out. But for now it's just, you know, we gotta kind of work with what we got and this is what we got. I think the content I'm putting out on YouTube's actually really good. It's quite enjoyable. I really like it. I like these streams because, you know, it's like in 2 hours we can get a lot done. We can like figure out the writing prompt. We can do the writing. We can, finish up a story. It's good. I really appreciate it. I really like it. And I would like to continue this type of content in the future. But yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of time before I find my voice on YouTube and all this kind of stuff, on Twitch as well. Hopefully it's not so bad. Hopefully some people are enjoying it. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a great day, night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it happens to be your time. And I'll see you guys again next time on Monday, I think, for the next episode of Amphimancer. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye YouTube first.